Welcome to episode 9 of the NewsNale. And today we're talking about two different topics. One is going to be Twitter and Elon Musk's purchasing of Twitter, and the other is what's going on in the streaming universe. So did Elon win? We're going to discuss that. And CNN Plus looks like they lost, but who else is going to lose in the great streaming wars? Elon secured his financing. Much of it is coming from Elon himself, about 21 billion in cash that he is going to have to source somehow, which will be some combination of Tesla stock, maybe some SpaceX shares, some Bitcoin, maybe some other rich friends who aren't in the deal yet. Another 12.5 billion is a margin loan against some of the shares that Elon has. It's basically against $60 billion of his shares because the banks like to have some cushion there. So it's about a 3-to-1 ratio. So if those shares start going down, they can start monetizing those shares. The rest is $13 billion in loans from Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, and other big banks. So it's real financing. It's legit. So what do people think about this? Well, I'll tell you who doesn't like it. Current Tesla shareholders are not really very happy. A few days after the announcement, the shares were off by as much as 17.5%. And right now they sit at about down 10% from where they were before the deal. This is saying that Tesla shareholders aren't really happy about this. And why aren't they happy? Because if Elon doesn't do well with Twitter, or if Tesla doesn't start hitting the numbers that they say they're going to hit, or the magic comes off this magical rocket ship of a share, then banks could start calling the loan, which means Elon will have to sell some of his shares, which means these shares go out in the public market and other people can buy them up, which could jeopardize who has ownership of Tesla. So the other question is this a good deal? Well, it's kind of the classic dog that caught the car. Now what? I think for the Twitterverse, it's probably a good deal because the current leadership at Twitter, I don't think they really had a clue. They didn't know where they were going. The company wasn't doing that well. It roughly generates at best about $1 billion in EBITDA. They're going to have to, the purchase price is 44 times that EBITDA. So he's going to have to figure out a way to generate some significant revenue, even though he said it's not about making money. Twitter's going to have to start thinking about making money. For the Tesla stockholders, I think this is actually a pretty good deal. One tell for this is that the Twitter chief executive officer, Parag Agrawal, talked about the sale, and all he really talked about was the price that they got, that it was a good deal. It was a good price for the stock. He didn't say anything about this will make our product stronger, this will give us the funding we need to improve the service, or this means we can focus on delighting our user, or Elon Musk is a business visionary and he'll run the company better, or Elon loves Twitter and uses it really well, so he'll find a way to get others to use it. Nope, he said pretty much the opposite of that, which is all he said was, this is the best we were going to do, which tells me that he didn't have a plan for the company. The board had less of a plan. They didn't own many shares. They weren't really invested in the company. So it's kind of like Alice in Wonderland. If you don't know where you're going, any path will take you there. They took the first path that came along, $54.20. Now, is this a good deal for Elon? We'll have to see. Elon's making the bet of his life, but I think one thing we have learned is never bet against Elon Musk. Who knows what's going to happen? It's amazing that he got this deal together while running 2 or 3 other businesses. He was able to pull together financing this deal in a matter of days. It's almost historical what he did. Now, can he run all these companies simultaneously? Maybe, maybe not. He's learned a lot over the years of how to put people underneath them and empower them to make decisions. Hopefully he'll do the same thing at Twitter. But let's stay tuned because there is a clause in this deal that he could walk away and just give up $1 billion. I love how they say, and just for $1 billion, you can walk away. That's like saying, oh, if you forget to cancel your hotel room, you just lose half the room. You know, just just $1 billion. It's like, I'd like to find just $1 billion. Like, is that my couch? Is that all? Anyway, onward. So on to the streaming wars. There's a lot of folks in streaming. There's one that's not anymore, and that would be CNN Plus. Why did CNN Plus drop out after 6 days? Well, it's pretty obvious what's going on here. It's really about, it's about the numbers. It's about what's going on in the whole streaming universe. Netflix, the bellwether kind of stock of streaming, their stock price has fallen from $700 a share down to $200, losing about $250 billion in market cap value. That is a lot. So why did Netflix get hit like this? A couple of reasons. They've insisted on being evaluated by the number of subscribers. And the minute that number, the number of subscribers didn't grow precipitously, the stock market, the market penalized them. And they didn't, instead of positioning themselves on revenue, they did it on users. And well, that's what happened. But why else happened? It's really economics. Let's do some math. There are roughly 115 million households in the US. 20 to 30 million of them, they don't really stream. They don't watch a lot of stuff. They don't care. These are the folks that are reading. These are the folks on the fringes. They don't care. So that leaves us roughly about 80 million US households that could potentially invest in a streaming service. Or if you think about it, the $3,000 per household. What that means is in all the streaming investment right now is about $200 to $240 billion in content development. So what I'm saying is all the streaming companies are investing $200 to $240 billion a year filming content, developing content, which comes down to $3,000 a household. $3,000 a household. It's not. It's the average household income is somewhere around $60,000 to $65,000. This is $3,000 a household. And what are they charging now? $14, $15 a month. So they're off by a magnitude of 200%. This is not sustainable. So really the other way to look at it, they're spending $2 billion of content for every $1 of fee they're taking in. Again, this is just not sustainable. The bottom is going to have to drop out at some time. And this is what I warn. Right now is the best time to be sitting on a couch with your Taco Bell app and DoorDash app and maybe some edibles and watch a bunch of really great stuff, but it can't be sustained. Now we know when brands build, they will overinvest to grab share. Jeff Bezos did it with Amazon for about 20 years. But I think the day of reckoning is coming through and coming to us now. And so the party's over. And who's going to win? Who can you bet on in the streaming wars? Is it Disney? Is it Apple Plus? Is it Netflix? Is it quality over quantity? Right now, I think of Netflix as the quantity player. They're spending roughly 20 to $24 billion a year on content to come up with new content to share with you. I think someone said, if you sat down and watched Netflix for the rest of your life, you could get through 3% of it. I don't think viewership is a quantity game. I don't think there's a lot of things that you will watch over and over again from Netflix. Would you like to see Bloodlines again? Would you like to see Chef's Table or Narcos even again? I don't think so. I think a lot of the media and a lot of the content that Netflix is developing is like fish or fruit or vegetables. Over time, it goes bad. Over time, it is perishable. It's not something that you can save and use up and watch again and again. So it's about enduring content versus fresh content. I think fresh content is not the play. And that's why I think the Apple Plus and the Disneys of the world will probably win the day, because when you have Marvel and Star Wars and Belle and The Little Mermaid, which not only scans all ages of the household, but it's iconic media that you would watch again, and you can watch, even if it was filmed and brought out yesterday, you will watch it tomorrow, you will watch it 5 years from now. Even Amazon, with the purchase of the Bond franchise, could be better positioned than Netflix. But who knows? We will see going forward, so we'll keep our eye on that. So I'd like to end today with a new segment of NewsNale that I call Finish Work. We're in springtime here. It's finally arrived here in Montana, and springtime is about new growth, kind of rebirth, new things. We have students graduating. We have lots of people moving to new jobs, and it's a great opportunity to build a brand for yourself or rebrand yourself. What is your brand? What do you stand for? And whether you like it or not, you do stand for something. Now is the time to look at that, take inventory of that brand, and decide who you want to be and what you want to be to the world. What do you stand for now and in the future? And how do you do it? What do you want for yourself in the future? Take inventory and ask people that are close to you and people that are further away from you. People that are close to you may not be honest. People a little further away will give you the uncomfortable answers. And the more uncomfortable, the more right on those answers are. Pick out the positives of what you stand for, look at the negatives, try to reduce the negatives, try to increase the positives, or start coming up with new things that you want to be. And then set that goal and then move in that direction. Be that person that you want to be. Be that person who stands up for those that can't stand up for themselves. Be that person who makes the right decisions, who helps make the world just a little bit better every single day. And that's it for Finish Work this year, this episode. So thanks for joining us. NewsNale is a Nails Ed education media production. Sky Montana and Abigail Soroka producers. Music by Slate Hudson. Fact checking and story sourcing from Rancher Pete, who can be followed at Instagram at Rancher Pete MT. And we will see you later.